All right, to this now, the Steve Biko Foundation is worried about talks around forming the 7th administration prioritizing positions instead of the agenda for South Africans. This was revealed at the gathering of foundations named after eminent South Africans. They hope to pave a way forward in fulfilling the deferred dream for the country amid much uncertainty 30 years into democracy. And we'll bring you more, of course, on that particular story. But let's stay with issues around elections and the possibility of futures, especially for some of the countries. You look at what is taking place currently in the United States. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are expected to face off in a highly anticipated debate on Thursday night. Now, according to some analysts, the presumptive Democratic and Republican Party nominees remain locked in a tight race. So let's explore this further now and speak to Kate Fisher, SABC News Correspondent. Kate, thank you so much for your time. How worried are both parties about their candidates' performance in the debate?
Well, I think this is a huge moment. This is the first time in history that a former president and a current president will hold a debate like this. It's really the first big moment of this presidential campaign since we've known who each candidate is likely to be. They won't officially be named candidates until each party's had its convention later this summer. But this is going to be 90 minutes, the most important 90 minutes probably of the campaign so far. Each one of them knows that with the polls so tight, and in fact Donald Trump seemingly ahead in most of those key swing states, that this will be potentially a way of either cementing that lead for Donald Trump or swinging it back in Joe Biden's favor. So there is a lot riding on the 90 minutes later on tonight. And especially because some of the reports are also suggesting that President Joe Biden's health, for example, is a worry for Republicans and Democrats in tonight's debate. How big of an issue is that? I think it is big. I think a lot of voters are concerned about the fact that he is in his 80s now. But Donald Trump, of course, is only a few years younger than him. But Donald Trump really plays up this idea that Joe Biden is, to quote him, going senile and that he can't hold a sentence together. And so Donald Trump will be trying to show tonight, trying to prove that, if you like, to his voters, trying to trip up, trying to get him to have a moment where he can't answer a question properly, or trying to maybe criticize the way he walks onto the stage. But of course, we have also seen that Joe Biden is capable of walking and talking and conducting himself. The State of the Union address earlier this year was a resounding success for Joe Biden in terms of the way he comported himself and delivered the speech. There were no gaffes. But yes, no doubt the health and the kind of way each candidate portrays themselves physically will be almost as important as the things that they say. And let's speak about the debate tonight. How is it likely to unfold in terms of the 90 minutes? Well, this is the first time that a presidential TV debate will be without a studio audience, and CNN, which is the broadcast network that's hosting the debate, is going to be in control of each candidate's microphones, which means that they hope that there will be less likely to be kind of each candidate shouting over the top of each other, which happened the last time Donald Trump and Joe Biden debated. It turned into something of a free-for-all. It was hard to hear what each person was saying because they were shouting over each other. CNN is hoping that by the fact that the moderators will have control over the microphones, and that means that when one of them is giving an answer, the other can't interrupt, they're hoping that will be more informational for viewers, and they will actually be able to hear what each candidate is saying. But it will mean that it has less perhaps of the unknown happening. There won't be any audience members responding to what each candidate is saying. And that kind of situation doesn't play as well for Donald Trump. He really feeds off an audience. He likes to perform in front of a live audience. And so some analysts are saying that this could be a worse situation for Donald Trump, but others argue that actually it could serve Donald Trump in his favor, because one of the criticisms that people who would usually vote Republican and are, in fact, like many of Donald Trump's policies, but they're concerned about his personality and the way he can be very off the cuff and get angry quickly. The fact that he won't be able to respond because his microphone will be turned off, some analysts think that will actually serve him well and may mean that he's more attractive to some of those more moderate Republican voters who are put off by his personality.
All right, it promises to be an interesting one. We'll be watching. Thank you so much, Kate, for that update. Appreciate it. That was Kate Fisher, SABC News Correspondent.